Welcome to
the most epic Holly Jolly
Christmas Showdown.
I'm Amanda Figueroa.
And I'm Adriana York, formerly Figueroa.
And we are just two sisters who love Christmas and competition.
Hoo.
Welcome to the podcast.
I was really wanting to do that the last time.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you just got to give it a few air pumps for
sometimes you
competition.
Just gotta let it loose and just be like, yeah,
I know.
we're in it.
Getting ready for the Olympics this summer.
Oh, she's so excited. I'm excited too, but she was like, is the Olympics going on yet? I'm like, I don't think so.
I know. I've been like trying to watch like the
preliminaries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just more excited because I have a friend who's like into sports.
Yeah.
And she's like, we gotta find like where we're gonna be watching all of these Olympics events. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna make like an itinerary.
Yeah. They're dedicated.
Love it.
Yeah. She can share her itinerary if you want to keep up.
Yes, we'll do anything for the name of competition.
Yes. Well, welcome back, everyone, and hello to new listeners if you're new to the podcast. We just love Christmas movies.
Yep.
And if you love Christmas and competition too, like, share this with your friends. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, try and get in touch. We have an Instagram, we have a TikTok. We haven't done much with it, but
That's
maybe
my fault.
maybe you can help us figure out some ideas. What do you want to see? What do you want to have, you know?
Yeah.
Let's just grow this podcast because I feel like there's so many people who love Christmas.
Yeah.
You know?
I think a really fun event, I mean, we already have each other to like watch Christmas movies with.
Yeah.
But like instead of a book club, a Christmas movie club.
Ooh.
And you watch the movie that we're like going to be talking about each week.
Oh, yeah.
And then you come in and you all like listen to the podcast together and you write down your own scores and then you compare your scores amongst each other.
Oh my goodness.
That'd be so fun. Should
Maybe
we host that?
Maybe we should. We should get a Patreon just for that.
We've been talking about getting a Patreon, but we just don't know
what to do.
Yeah, but
like,
maybe that's a good idea.
Maybe that's a good idea. And then
straight off the noggin.
Maybe we'll start incorporating someone's score. You know, because we can be a little biased. You know, I'm not too big to say that. Like, you know.
And we're a little synced up now, too.
Yeah, and so now it's like, ooh, are we, like, saying it just because, like, this is what we feel? Or are we being completely impartial?
Yeah.
And so maybe another voice would be helpful.
Voice of reason.
Yeah, you know, just to keep us in check.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah.
We'll see. We'll work on Instagram and TikTok first.
And then we'll go on to that. But for sure, we are working on those things.
Yes.
To make it more enjoyable for those listeners, those consistent listeners that are still listening. Like, I know who you are. I see you. And
we love you.
Yeah. We appreciate you.
We're here for you.
Yes. But anyways, let's get into our weekly Christmas cheer. I'll go.
Oh, I was like, I blinked for a second.
I know. I was like, okay, I'll go. So my weekly Christmas cheer, we had church recently, and I've been making friends, and this one friend of mine that we've been getting close with, she hasn't met my parents. Like, she's met my sister. I think she's run into Sharif.
Mm-hmm.
But not really anyone else. And so, like, I said hi to her, and she met my mom, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is my friend, Mom. Like, I've been hanging out with, and I just felt like we've been, like, getting closer, and it's just, I love friendship, you know? All my friends from college are in a completely other state, so I guess moving back here, I've really leaned on my family a lot, which family's good, but I was like, oh, it's so nice to have someone that's not my family.
Yeah.
And not, like, also in, like, a relationship with, because a boyfriend's different than a friend.
Yeah.
You know? And so, it was just really nice to, like, I guess I'm rounding out that part of my life, you know?
Yeah.
And bringing it here finally, because I go and I see my college friends, but it's only for like a couple of days, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then like you text, you call. It's not the same feel, you know. Feel like
Yeah.
you're catching up on a lot of stuff, so you miss all the little details. Like she called me the other day, and she goes, yeah, like how's this going? And I was like, oh, yeah, it's going good. Like she remembered something that was going on, and I was like, I totally forgot. But yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't remember to tell some of my other friends that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, my weekly Christmas cheer is I got my Mother's Day gift a little early.
She did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful Breville coffee machine. And it was mostly unexpected. Like my mom's birthday had happened recently, and she and my dad went and got massages, and she was like, I so would have gotten that for you for Mother's Day, but your Mother's Day gift is already on its way, and I can't afford something else. So I was like, okay, I know that it was expensive. And so when I got that day that they had given it to me, I was listening to another podcast, and somebody mentioned a Breville, and I said, I think it's a Breville.
It is amazing, guys. It is so good.
Yeah, I taught my sister how to use it.
Yeah.
My husband just figured it out one day, and he made me
Yeah.
coffee yesterday.
That is so nice. Yeah. It was worth the price.
Yeah, so
And-
my whole family went in to get it for me, which is so sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. And, you know, you're looking for houses now. And so I told her, I was like, you might just find me in the house. Like, I wanted a latte from your Breville.
Yeah, we joke because Amanda has usually like a nightly coffee cap. And we
I
joke
love
that
coffee.
we joke whenever we move out that Sharif and I are gonna like be in bed just winding down for the day, and she's just gonna come in and being like, I'm gonna get a latte really fast, I'm gonna be out soon.
Like, they're just going to hear, like, the front door unlock, or if they have, like a keypad, like, dee, 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 doo. And then, like, I'm just going to be like, it's just me. I'm just coming to get a coffee really quick. Well, especially, like, you know, because Garrett doesn't like coffee.
Yeah.
So I'm like, gosh darn it. Like, it makes no sense for me to have a machine like that for myself.
Yeah.
So,
Brielle the Breville, she's pretty fancy. I love her.
yeah,
So it felt like Christmas morning.
it was very nice. She was very excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
I set it up that night.
That night, she made a coffee. She goes, I don't even want to drink it because I'm going to have cake and ice cream, but I just wanted to make coffee.
Yeah, it was definitely 10:30.
Yeah.
Whatever. But if you're new around here, the way our episodes work is we jump into a fairly detailed summary of the movie. So today we are looking at The Nightmare Before Christmas. If you don't like a spoiler, then pause here because we will definitely spoil the movie for you in the summary. You can watch it on Disney Plus. But if you don't mind a little spoiler, you want to know kind of what's going on, then keep listening. We'll tell you all about the movie. And then after the summary, we score our movie. And the way that we score the movies is with 5 categories, which are plot, main character, aesthetic, overall Christmas cheer, and supporting characters. And then we finish off with a cringe factor score because you have to acknowledge the cringe that comes with some Christmas movies. And then we assign the final total score and see where it falls in the category and see if it has, you know, a chance of going to playoffs.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's get into The Nightmare Before Christmas. I realized writing the summary, guys, that I tend to like take on the persona of like the movie. So some of these words that I put in my summary, I'm like, I don't talk like this, but
You're like, I read too many books. Why do I know this word?
I feel like I was just channeling the movie in this summary. So we'll see how this goes. This 1993 Tim Burton classic begins in Halloween Town. The inhabitants of the town are celebrating to another Halloween well done, with song and dance culminated by the Pumpkin King transforming from his pumpkin head to a skeletal garb. Like, what was that?
Yeah.
But I felt like it just worked.
Oh, the word you mean?
Yeah. The Pumpkin King, aka Jack Skellington, seems to be as jubilant as his fellow townies, but when he's left alone, we see that Jack is sad and longing for more. During his lonely musical number, we meet Jack's ghost dog, Zero, and Sally, a Frankenstein's monster of sorts who is in love with Jack. Sally gets whisked away by the scientist that made her, who is very upset that she keeps poisoning him to sleep. And Jack continues his somber stroll with Zero. Jack then comes across these peculiar trees in the woods, one with a heart on the trunk, another with a turkey, an Easter egg, just all these different shapes representing holidays. But the one that catches Jack's eye is the one with the tree decorated in ornaments and lights. Jack realizes the shapes are doors, and he opens the Christmas tree door, and he gets pulled into this new place called Christmas Town. Jack begins to get his own warm, fuzzy feelings when he sees the snow, the lights, the trees, and the cheer. Jack comes back to Halloween Town reinvigorated with the prospects of Christmas. He shares the news with the town and encourages the town to pursue Christmas this year. Jack spirals into his research of Christmas, and Sally becomes worried because she gets a very scary premonition about Jack's pursuit of Christmas this year. Jack decides that the town will also be in charge of Christmas, kind of cutting out Santa Claus, or Sandy Claus, as they call him. What starts out with well intentions ends up becoming disastrous. Santa Claus, or Sandy Claus, is kidnapped and tossed into the lair of Mr. Oogie Boogie, aka the Boogeyman. Jack becomes crazed and gets ready to take off on the foggy Christmas Eve evening with Zero leading the skeleton reindeer. Sally is becoming increasingly more worried as Jack goes about this new venture. Jack, acting as Santa, leaves gifts for the kids, and it becomes quite a mess. Toys, like severed heads, are given, and many of them begin to start attacking the families, creating a panic and having many people call the police. Sally hears of the news and searches for the real Santa to save Jack and Christmas. After getting blown out of the sky, Jack realized that his zeal for Christmas actually ruined the holiday for the kids. Jack returns to Halloween Town to find Santa and fights Mr. Oogie Boogie to help free Santa and Sally. With a scolding to Jack, Santa takes off to fix Christmas. Sally and Jack almost share their feelings, but the news of Jack's return alerts the town. Santa gives one last gift of snow for Halloween Town, which they thoroughly enjoyed. And finally, Sally and Jack share a kiss, and that is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah.
That it is.
That it is.
You are all going to be so shocked. But I had never seen that movie before.
I had seen it one time, but I don't think I saw it all the way through. I never saw the ending. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely started the movie and I was like, how is this a Christmas movie? I'm very confused. I think it's all about Halloween.
Yeah.
And then I kept watching.
Yeah. And I know there's so many people out there who are like, how have you never seen this movie? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, like my childhood best friend. She's like, are you kidding me? Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite Christmas movie. And I said,
we are sorry.
That's odd.
Yeah. I feel like the opening musical number, This Is Halloween, I know it because it plays on Disney Channel for Halloween. And now like ABC, or not ABC Family, it's not that anymore. Freeform.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's how I know the movie, but I've never gone past literally the opening number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, let's get into our scoring.
First category, plot.
I gave plot 4.25 candy canes out of 5.
I gave it 5 candy canes out of 5.
Wow, I can see it.
I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't see like many issues with the plot. I didn't have too many questions, if any. Like, it was just really straightforward. I felt like there was depth where there needed to be depth. I think my only question is, like, how does Sally come in the picture? But I'm like, she's the true believer, so we need her.
Yeah. I guess mine are more like just like questions that don't necessarily need to be answered. Like, where did the trees come from? How did these trees come to be? You know? But
What trees?
like the holiday trees.
You know, yeah. I'd love a backstory on that.
I would love a backstory, but other than that, it wasn't like it took away from the movie. Like, what is happening? Yeah. Do the other holidays know about the trees? Like, I'm curious about that because Jack seems to be running the show in Halloween Town, and he didn't know about these trees.
Yeah,
so I'm just curious, but that was it.
And then Santa, he was like, if you try to ruin another holiday, like, don't or whatever.
Yeah, like he seemed to be aware.
Does Santa know?
He seems to be aware of it. Questions.
Yeah,
but not like impacted a lot of my score, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love the idea of all these different holidays having different towns, and I felt like the towns, like the ones that we saw, it seemed to fit. Like, you know, Halloween Town, like it was like the scary stuff, you know, and it
they
worked.
Were so Halloween. Like, after the opening number, there was a fish monster or whatever, whatever that was. She was like, your song just make wounds ooze and skin crawl. And I was like, that's a compliment for them.
Yeah. You know, like they were handing out awards, like was like vampire who sucked the most blood in one evening.
Yeah.
I was like, they're so Halloween.
Yeah.
And then you go to Christmas Town, I'm like, that is Christmas, you know? It was really good. I really liked Jack, and he's, you know, and all the characters, really. I felt like there was...
Is this still in plot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I felt like they were, like, the plot was, like, Jack wanted...
all the characters, is what you're saying? Okay.
And Jack wanted more, and I felt like he really drove the plot really well, and that it was a good flow. Like you said, all the characters helped.
Yeah.
And even those nasty little trick-or-treaters, you know? And Mr. Oogie Boogie, like, they did their job.
Yeah, I kind of liked how it felt so, like, realistic, and it was, like, lessons that, like, adults could catch on to, but it was still, like, a kid movie, kind of. I didn't let my daughter watch it, because it seemed a little scary, but...
It is a little scary, which is probably why we didn't watch it. I think our mom doesn't like Tim Burton a lot. So, I don't think that she would have been like, let's put on this movie. No. Yeah. Like, I definitely started watching Tim Burton movies
when I... adult?
No, like, in, like, middle school, like, when I could make those decisions for myself, I felt like a mom wasn't putting much of a fight. She just, like, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
So, like... I definitely watched Coraline around that time. I never got around to Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
But I thought it was going to be scarier.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I like how it was just, like, very realistic. Like, the underlying theme, the underlying message was, like, Jack was unhappy with where he was at. And then he, like, tried something new that, like, wasn't, like, meant for him. And then he was like, you know what? Like, I need to stick to what I'm good at. I'm good at it. And so, like, I just need to be happy with, like, you know, what I'm good at. And, like, just, I don't know. He gets, like, this refreshed energy and this...
I also think it's, like, I liked that he could appreciate this new thing. But also he comes to understand that, like you said, that's not necessarily what he's meant to do. But... he can appreciate these different things. Like, you know, I think his mind was open to different things. Because I think that in some cases, they may take some of the stuff from Christmas and incorporate it into Halloween.
Yeah.
It was just the wrong holiday. You know, like, kids would expect that on Halloween. On Christmas, they're expecting something completely different.
Yeah.
But, like maybe in Halloween they would like presents that chased them. They're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, you know. Versus in Christmas they're like expecting candy canes and, you know, just normal toys, and they're like getting freaked out by that. So I think that maybe he's like, oh, I can incorporate it and I can have an appreciation for all these different holidays. But yeah, like my niche is my niche.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm good at.
Yeah. I thought it was a really cute movie, and I liked the ending.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Main character or characters.
See, I wanted to say it was just Jack, but Sally had a lot of importance, so I put her in main character as well.
I would agree with her as well.
Yeah. So I gave Jack and Sally 4 candy canes out of 5.
I gave them 4.5 candy canes out of 5.
Yeah.
I did like them. I wanted more of a backstory of like where Sally came from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's Frankenwoman, we get that.
Yeah.
But like I just don't know like where she just fell in love with Jack and was like,
Yeah,
I
like
think it was like maybe she heard his like lonely song and she was like, I feel that, and so then she fell in love with him.
but she seems like she was really interested in him before. Like she drugged her scientist maker guy
So she could see him. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish there was a backstory, but other than that, I liked her role as like true believer.
Yeah. And like the thing is, it's like she was excited that he discovered this, but she was also like, this is not, no, you gotta let Santa do his thing. Like Santa is Santa and you are Pumpkin King. Like you got Halloween, he's got Christmas. Like you can't take that away from him, you know? And so
And I loved Jack.
I love Jack. I love that his Christmas cheer, we'll get into that, was so much that it almost was detrimental. Like that's literally what it was.
Yeah.
Like his yearning to have this Christmas became detrimental, you know, because he's Halloween. Like he's the king of Halloween. And he was like, okay. And then he realized at the end, he goes, oh, kind of ruined it. But he's like, I'm kind of glad I had this experience though.
Yeah.
So I learned like there's this amazing holiday, but it's not for me. I'm Halloween. And you know,
I liked the journey that he went on. Like he was like, okay, I'm not happy doing this. And then he like discovers Christmas and he's like, okay, I can do that and I can be really good at it. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it for you, Santa, don't worry. And then like that was kind of his downfall. And he's just thinking that he's doing a great job. And then all of a sudden he learns that, like, he's not doing a good job.
Yeah.
And he could easily be, like, bitter and sour and, like, upset about it. Because he's like, I just didn't want to do Halloween anymore. Like, I wanted to do Christmas. Like, da-da-da-da-da. It's everybody else's fault. But then he didn't. He was like, wait, I ruined Christmas. Like, I need to make it better. I need to go get Santa.
Yeah,
because I'm
came
Halloween
back.
And he's Christmas. Yeah.
He came back and got Santa, fought Mr. Oogie Boogie, you know, like, you know, made sure that they got out of there. He took the scolding from Santa. He's like, Santa's like, do not, under any circumstances, ruin another holiday. Mm-hmm. And then he left. But he's like, yeah, I needed that. Like, yeah.
I loved his character.
I loved it was Mr. Jack Skellington for president.
Yes, absolutely. Next category. Aesthetic.
I gave it 4.5 candy canes out of 5.
I gave it 4 candy canes out of 5.
I loved the claymation.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was so good to the point where, like, okay, honestly, I don't watch old movies. We've talked about this before. Mm-hmm. But, like, anything before early 2000s, I really don't spend my time watching. But it was so good that I was like, this is actually 1993. Like, for some reason, I was like, this has to have been, like, 2010 or something.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was like a 2005 movie. I didn't know it came out in 1993.
Yeah.
So I don't know where that came from.
The claymation and animation was just so good.
It was so good. And then I loved the difference between Halloween Town and Christmas Town. But what I most especially loved was when Halloween Town tried to like emulate Christmas. It was so like scary, but
Yeah.
like Christmas. Like if you thought about putting the two together, they did that perfectly.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I think the only reason why I would knock it was because for it being categorized as a kids movie, I wouldn't necessarily be like, here, Lenny, let's watch Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, no, she's gonna have nightmares. Like, that's how good they did Halloween Town.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree. I loved how everything looked. I liked how Halloweeny Halloween Town was, and just the character or the detail for everything
Mm-hmm.
was so good, especially it being like a claymation animation movie. Like, it was so good.
Yeah.
I felt like, I don't know, I loved Christmas Town. I just felt like there could have been a little bit more, but I understand that there wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the main focus.
Yeah.
So I understand why there wasn't more. So I docked that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jack, his limbs and his fingers were really bothering me.
Really?
Like, they're just so long and skinny that I was like, bleh. Like, I mean, I understand that's who he was supposed to be, but I was like, at some points, just seeing his arms move and his fingers, I was like, oh, it made my skin crawl, which I guess they did a good job, but I was like, I didn't like it. But yeah, and then it was a little scary, but not much.
Not much.
Hence why I still gave it 4 candy canes.
Yeah.
I loved the music, and I loved how,
Oh my gosh, the music was so good.
yeah, at the end, they kind of brought some of the songs back
Yeah.
in a different way.
Yeah.
Like the What's This, and then also like This Is Halloween.
Yeah.
They started singing it again.
Yeah.
So it was like full circle. And I was like, wow, that was just well done.
The music just took you on an emotional journey, you know? And again, like we were talking about it, it's a stop motion film. So it's like they're moving little parts and taking those pictures, and it's seamless. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. Next category.
Overall Christmas cheer.
I gave it 4.5 candy canes out of 5.
Same.
Because, like, it was so Christmas cheery. Like,
Guys, it was so
it was a really good movie.
cheery. Like, it gave me the warm, fuzzy feelings.
And I think what was so unique about it, and what I liked a lot about it, is that it wasn't necessarily that, like, the main character lost his Christmas cheer.
No.
He had never had it. He didn't know it was a thing.
He didn't know.
And
it
then
was
he
a thing.
just discovered it. And he automatically bought in.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so cool.
Well, even more so, he bought in that the whole town got behind it.
That's true.
They were so excited. They're like, we're gonna take Christmas this year. Like, don't worry, Christmas Town, we got it. And they were just so excited to do it. It wasn't like they were like, what are we doing? Like, what's wrong with him? Like, they kind of had that, but then once he explained what he wanted to do, they're like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
It seems like a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just saying that, and I was like, wow, it's almost like somebody, like, when they're introduced to Jesus for the first time,
Yeah.
and they're like, this is just amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, that's so cool. Because obviously, I mean, we love Christmas, but we love Christmas because we believe that Christmas is all about Jesus. So a lot of times in Christmas movies, it's very easy to see Jesus in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and just like the fire that can get lit whenever someone is just on fire for Jesus, like everyone else can just feel that too, and you know, it can reinvigorate people. And I think that's what happened with the town, is just like they never had that.
Yeah.
And they were like, let's just do it. And I loved the Christmas cheer, and I loved Sally's part in it too, because she admired Christmas. She admired everything about Christmas, but she also knew, she's like, in order for it to be done right, you need the person who can do Christmas. And it was like, she so much believed in Santa and his abilities, and almost like knowing that Jack's abilities were better elsewhere, that she was like, we need to fix this. And so I really liked her part in it too.
Which is so interesting because her scientist father thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
He was like, you're not ready for all of this. So I wonder, like, how old she is.
Yeah.
You know? Like, She doesn't seem like she's that old,
Yeah.
but yet has all that like wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a surprisingly good movie. I
Yeah.
didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. I was like, man, I'm just gonna suffer through this movie. No,
No.
it was good. It was well done.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not done yet because we have another category.
Supporting characters.
Who are your supporting characters?
I just said everyone else because
Basically, yeah,
it was like there wasn't anyone that stood out as just like this.
super significant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gave him 4 candy canes out of 5.
I gave them 3.5 candy canes out of 5. Like, I didn't find them all super necessary. Like, I didn't really understand why the scientist father was
Fair.
there.
Yeah.
Just giving, like, I don't know, showing us that Sally was lonely, and so that's how she could, like, relate to Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did like at the end how he, like, built a granny for him.
Yeah.
That was so funny and so cute.
Yeah.
And then Santa, I mean, I liked him, but then I was also, like, a little bit taken aback when he did scold Jack.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, that's, like, very realistic. But then he was like, okay, I'm still going to show grace. And,
Yeah.
like, still give snow to the town.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was like, holy cow, he's a little sassy.
Yeah, he's a little sasspot.
But very realistic. Those are the only ones that are coming to mind right now.
Yeah, I really like the Halloween townies. I don't know. They were so good to me. I loved the little trick-or-treaters, those little rascals. Like, I felt like it made sense. You just saw the dynamic, like, what Jack wanted to do versus what his town was known for. Like, those kids, they were little rascals. So, of course, they were not going to listen to Jack. And they're like, yeah, we're going to go give him to Mr. Oogie Boogie, you know?
Yeah.
The mayor, who's like, I'm an elected official, Jack. I can't do this by myself. And, like, he's trying to keep this town together. And he's like, I actually don't know what I'm doing here. Like, I really need your direction.
Yeah.
I can understand about the scientist, like, her constantly sneaking out. It could have been kind of like a subplot in a way.
Yeah.
But, no, I just felt like it really rounded out this environment that they were trying to create with the movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree.
Mm-hmm.
But then also I was like, the mayor, why is he like, I loved him. I loved how his face
Yeah.
switched, like, depending on his emotion. But I was also like, what's the word? And I haven't been able to figure out the word, but somebody who just, like, is constantly, like, talking and, like, sharing gossip.
Mm-hmm.
There's a word for it, and I can't think of it. And it's been bothering me since I've
gossiper?
watched... No. Another word. Like, something... I will have to Google it at some point because I will not be able to sleep tonight if I can't figure out the word. But yeah, I was like, why is he just... He seems kind of, like, not nosy, but, like... As soon as he heard something, he's like, okay, I have to alert the town. And so that was funny, but it kind of bothered me. I was like, why? Like, and why is there so much significance? But it was funny at the same time. So
Yeah.
that's where I docked a little bit.
Yeah. I can see it. I really enjoyed their, the
vampires were so funny.
The vampires were so funny. All of them. They were so good.
The script in general was just, like, really well done. It was a well done movie.
Yeah, I loved the musicians, like, especially when Jack was like, here, play this song, and then they're, like, playing it, and it's like...
It's Halloween-y, dark Christmas music.
And they're, like, trying their best. Like, they're like, this is what we have.
But all they know is Halloween.
Yeah.
So that was funny. It was... attention to detail was on point.
It was really good.
All right, so for our totals, what was your total for the movie?
I gave The Nightmare Before Christmas a total of 21.5 21.25 candy canes out of 25.
And I gave The Nightmare Before Christmas a total of 21.5 candy canes out of 25.
Wowzers. Which gives us an average total of 21.38 candy canes out of 25. But we have the cringe factor. Dun dun dun. What did you give it?
I gave it a cringe of 0 icicles out of 5.
I was going to. I gave it a quarter.
Yeah, you're like, I can't.
Yeah.
I wanted to give it some sort of cringe, but I was thinking back on it and I was like, I didn't have any moments. Like, so how I base my cringe is like when my eyes literally like squint, or like I look around the room to see how other people are feeling because I feel awkward and weird. So I was trying to think back and I didn't have any of those moments. Or like if I wanted to like cover my eyes and just literally be like, eh. I didn't have any of those moments.
I didn't. The only thing that I could think of was Sally's constant removal of limbs. She's a Frankenstein's monster, so she's sewed together. So you see her like, you know, constantly ripping off her arm, or she jumps out of her window to escape and like all her limbs pop off and you just see hands and a leg and just all that stuff. But that was the only thing that I can find that was remotely cringy about the movie. It was just like, Sally very rarely had her full body like intact.
That's so funny. But yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. And that's about it. So that gives us an average cringe of 0.125 icicles. Which then brings our overall total back to 21.25 candy canes out of 25. Which...
It's a pretty high score.
It definitely took that first place position in front of Mistletones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how it matches up. I have a good feeling about this one.
I have a good feeling about it too.
Yeah.
It was really good.
It was really good.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Again, we did not grow up with this movie, so for anyone who's watched it and they're like listening, they're like, yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, y'all are like, about time y'all watched it.
We understand. We are so sorry.
We will now be those people. We will join you.
Yeah. But tune in next time where we follow a teenage girl from a small Appalachian town who dreams about being a country music star. This is a country Christmas story starring Dolly Parton. So you can find this on Tubi, Freevee, Hulu, or Amazon Prime. So pick your poison.
Lovely.
Yeah. And that's it for this episode. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Adriana.
Have a holly jolly day. Bye.